Ciao everyone, today we're gonna make cantucci. Cantucci are a typical biscuits from Italy. What is special about this biscuit? It's usually completely made out of almonds and is usually very dry. And the reason why it's very dry is because it's made precisely to be deep, that's the right word, deep inside vin santo, which is a typical Italian dessert wine. If you don't like wine like me, you can simply dip them into your coffee or into your tea. They're absolutely lovely. Another thing that they're really good is really good about cantucci is that they don't contain any butter inside, so they're even like lighter, if we can say that. Usually they're made completely out of almonds. Today I'm gonna slightly change the recipe and I'm going to make with a little bit of walnuts as well, just to add another different texture. And because I'm making vegan, I'm going to show you how to basically replace the egg. And to give it an extra flavor, I've added some vanilla and some fennel seed, which is typical for cantucci, but also I decided to add some orange zest and orange juice because personally I think it's gonna give it even more flavor and they're just gonna be delicious. So let's start. What do you need? You basically need to lightly toast your almonds for like a couple of minutes, 150 degrees, just until they slightly change the color. They're ready, and let them cool down completely. Then here I got all my dry ingredients. I got my sugar, I got my flour. Another thing that I forgot to tell you, these are completely gluten free, so no butter, no eggs, and completely gluten free. So I mean, what more do you want? All the dry ingredients, spices and vanilla, orange zest is all in here. Here I got my psyllium husk. I hope I pronounce it correctly. Basically, psyllium husk is a egg replacement. It comes in a form of a little powder or flakes. In this case, I'm using powder. And the way that you activate this powder is by adding a liquid. Usually it's water. In this case, because I grated the orange zest into my mix, my dry mix, I thought I'm gonna activate my psyllium using the orange juice. So you will see the completely full recipe on the description. It's up to you if you want to add orange or not, otherwise just activate it with water. So what you want to do, because it creates a lot of lumps, is adding a little bit of liquid at a time. So basically by adding a little bit of liquid, so I'm adding a little bit and I'm whisking it, it basically creates kind of like a gelatin texture. So you kind of want to mix it, and once you have no more lumps, you add the rest of the liquid and you mix well. So right now it literally looks like just watery, but believe me, if you leave it for like a couple of minutes, you will see like it compacts a little bit together and it forms this kind of gelatin. You don't want to leave it there, let it rest, you want to use it immediately. So you kind of want to prepare your psyllium immediately as soon as you need it to use it in the recipe. So here I'm gonna tidy up. I'm gonna get a little spatula, which I think I recommend is like one of the things in the kitchen if you bake a lot that you would use all the time. A simple plastic spatula. And here I got my psyllium, here I got my dry ingredients. Now I'm gonna get a spoon for the beginning so I don't get my hands crazy dirty. And I'm basically gonna add, give a little mix to your dry ingredient just to make sure they're well combined. And then I'm gonna add my psyllium, which is already starting to basically become a bit of a jelly. Here we go. So now just mix everything together. So you can see this recipe is like super easy peasy. Regular recipe would have had one egg basically. So I'm just replacing the egg with the psyllium. So now, even if it seems like nothing is happening, it's still very crumbly, don't lose faith, because it literally is going to come together. You will see how good it comes together. And this is exactly the same exact consistency as it if you would have used the egg, because I've been working as a pastry chef for many years in Italy, even before I became a vegan, so I've done tons and tons of cantucci, and believe me, this is exactly the right consistency. So as you can see, it's like coming together. That's what you want. You just want to mix it until it comes into a dough. And now that I'm quite happy, I'm gonna add my almonds at the right moment to add your nuts, basically. Here we go, your toasted nuts. Now mix again. Okay, I'm gonna move it into my table. I really like the smell of the orange. I think it just adds like such a beautiful flavor to the cookie. But again, it's up to you. The original one only calls basically for fennel seeds and a little bit of vanilla. The reason also why this dough looks a little bit darker than usual is because I've used coconut sugar instead of like white refined sugar. So what you want to do now is divide the dough into roughly, and then get your tray close to you, and then you want to kind of roll it into a sausage. Okay, I'm gonna clean my hands a little bit. There we go. So it's okay if it's a little bit sticky. If it's too sticky, add a little bit of flour, but it shouldn't be. And it's normal that it kind of breaks a little bit when you try to roll it, because remember, it contains nuts. So kind of form some lumps of air in the middle. So it makes it a little bit tricky to roll. So you want to kind of have kind of a nice like 2 centimeter sausage, and then you want to place it into your tray, kind of flatten it a little bit. Usually the normal recipe with eggs, it flat itself, but I realized that this one doesn't go, it doesn't like collapse a bit, so you kind of want to help a little bit before you put it in the oven basically. So I'm going to do the same thing with this bit. Here we go. So they're ready. So you can see they're roughly the same size. It's not a problem if one is slightly longer, as long as they are the same thickness. And these are ready to be baked at 170 for roughly 20 minutes, and then I'll show you what to do. Here we go, guys. So these are boiling hot. So what you want to do now is to slice them, and you want to do it while they're still hot. Of course, be careful, do not burn your finger. The reason why you want to do it when they're still kind of hot, warm, is because it's easier to slice, and then they need to go back in the oven to toast again and finish the cooking. So now they're not completely cooked, but they're cooked enough to keep the shape and basically to create the crust that kind of hold them together. It is normal if while you cut them they break a little bit apart. It can happen because, you know, the almonds or like basically mix with the dough so that you don't have a perfect slice, but that's absolutely part of the cantucci. So now I'm gonna slice them carefully. Again, watch your fingers. And again, you want to use like a slicing knife, because that's the movement that you want to do, because if you go and chop them, they will crack and break. So you want to be very gentle and just slice them. Try to make them all the same size. Here we go. Now they're already sliced. Back in the oven for 5 minutes, then get them out, turn them around so they can toast on both sides, and then they are absolutely done. Here we go, guys. So I got like 5 minutes on each side. After, so I put it in, and then after 5 minutes basically I just switch them around to make sure they're evenly toasted on both sides. So 20 minutes when they're whole, then 5 minutes toast on one side and 5 minutes toast on the other side, and they should be absolutely perfect. Now all you want to do is wait for them to cool down completely and then enjoy them with a cup of tea.